It's the show that sucks with your hosts Harrison and Honzo Gonzo.
See what kind of paperwork has to be done.
Talk to Art if you want to get that done.
Yeah, if you need to contact Spooky, you need to talk to Arturo. He's his secretary, so.
Oh, wow.
This is for everyone. If you want to contact Spooky at NYC Furby. Just ask him the question and he'll relay it for you. He's very good at that.
Oh, Arturo's the Girl Friday in that business?
Yeah.
Oh, that's interesting.
With special guests from around the fighting game community.
Is he going to answer? Yeah, no?
Honzo?
Oh, hey! From the dead. Oh, are you crying? What happened?
I forgot it was Tuesday. And my phone's charging.
You are a terrible bison. How do you forget it's Tuesday?
The worst part is you retweeted the tweet that said it was tonight. You retweeted it.
Now for your hosts, Harrison and Honzo Gonzo.
We're live.
Sup? How's it going?
What's up, guys?
We're in the same space. If you guys didn't notice, this isn't a hologram. This is not hologram Honzo, even though that is in the works.
We're both in the same room for the very first time.
Are you excited?
I guess.
We could do so much things together.
We could do
you
so many
understand?
things.
Like I could do this and be like,
we're getting a plethora of suggestions in the channel.
Touch his
Should we
beard?
do- Yeah. Oh, God damn it. Oh, man. So it's our 50th show of the show that sucks. We were both actually listening to the first episode of the show,
yeah.
and
How'd that go, Harrison?
it was the worst thing I've ever heard in my life.
Yeah, it was terrible, dude.
Yeah.
I hated it. Like, don't go watch that. I've had someone recently be like, hey, I went and watched the first show. It sucked really bad. Yeah, it does. Don't go listen to it. We had Dasbro, which is probably the worst guest possible for any podcast.
Yeah, that's why he was only on one time ever.
Yeah. So, yeah, it's our 50th episode. How do you feel about this year?
This year, I mean, I think we came a long way.
Yeah. We're in the same room.
We're in the same room now. It only took us a
That's-
year to get to the same room, but you know, if people who listened to the very first show, or since the very first show, knew we only did audio for the first 26 episodes, I
Was it
think.
26?
26, 27, something like that. And yeah, it took us a hell of a long time to get video, and now we're 50, and we failed on the 50th show. We're not 50 years old, but yeah, I mean, I think it's great that somebody in the FGC can finally keep something going for a whole year.
Yep. There's been others. I don't know what you're talking about.
Well, SCR. And
What?
the Fray, you know, whenever they decide to do
Whenever,
something.
yeah, I guess. Whenever the Fray comes back to life. Rip Derry, we miss you. I heard Derry was found in the Bay Area, just his body. Just
Alive, though.
Waterlogged. Yeah, he's alive. It's like, he's bloated.
Somebody's like, hey, you should do the Fray. He's like, yeah, fuck that.
Derry actually said, this is a while ago, I don't know why I'm bringing this up, but like, when Magus was in the scene for a bit, Derry's just like, yeah, we found Magus's dead corpse in the bay. I don't know why I found it so funny. I don't, you don't find it funny.
I don't
No,
find it funny at all. Dead corpse in the bay, thanks.
That's hilarious to me, I don't know.
FGC's best commentator. Yeah, haha, I found him in the bay. Thanks, Honzo Gonzo.
Well, now they just ruined the moon.
Anyways, we have a game plan for the 50th show,
Yeah, we do.
which we normally don't have. We just
I'm not
babble
following.
on like we did in the first 3 minutes of the show. But we're going to, well, let's talk about what I have been doing the last couple weeks.
What have you been doing these last couple of weeks, Harrison?
I had a post on IPLAYWINNER. It was called FGC Assemble or something like that.
Yeah.
And I asked you guys to submit your FGC to me personally, so I could gather all the information and redistribute it to everybody who likes the show or IPLAYWINNER or likes fighting games and wants to get involved. And my ultimate goal is to, if you're traveling and you want to play video games, you'll be able to look at the list and hit somebody up and play some fighting games.
Yes, like SRK of the past, because SRK right now is a former, it's like a husk of its former self.
Yeah.
concerning regional matchmaking. Go to any regional matchmaking in there, and it's just like, hey, just come to our Facebook group.
Although it's not completely dead.
It's not completely dead, because I do know some scenes that still avidly post SRK exclusively. But I'm gonna say around 80 to 90% of SRK's regional matchmaking content is pretty much moved on to Facebook, and it's just like random Facebook groups, and it's really hard to find.
I was
like,
gonna
a
say the only
specific
problem
scene.
with Facebook groups is really hard to search
Yeah,
for groups
it's
in your area.
really awkward and hard, and like you have to ask people, and it's just weird, and it's not intuitive. So we figured we'd do something where it just make it easier for everyone in the world, wherever you're at, to find a scene that you like. And this is gonna be an ongoing thing. It doesn't end here.
Yes. So, but I am going to narrow down the ability to contact me though, because I don't want to have to keep continuing to check 50 different places. Mostly just not being able to comment on the article.
Oh, okay. Well, yeah, just
yeah.
email. We'll probably set up.
You still be able to tweet us. You still be able to email me. So.
Yeah.
Which is where I got a lot of submissions anyway. So. But yeah. So we also wanted to talk about how to get into fighting games. Now, this discussion has been made probably about a million times.
Well, yes.
I would
yes,
say.
It has.
Our goal in this episode is to try and dumb it down as much as humanly possible so anybody can buy the game, buy an arcade stick, find somebody to play with, which is kind of hard now
Yes.
outside of online, which is why I'm making the list of FGCs. But I mean, let's start with the first thing. Where do you buy games?
Where do you buy games, Harrison? Where do you buy video accessories and video games? It's at fucking Amazon. Amazon's number one. Amazon is number one at buying games. I don't care where you live. It's probably Amazon. I mean, if you're international, I'm sure there's some mom and pop.
Now, unfortunately, that's kind of just for us as fighting game fans. You can go to Best Buy, you can go to Target for all the new shit, but for fighting games of the past, it's kind of hard to find stuff.
I lost my Marvel copy for around a month or so. I left it at Apology Man's house for some reason, and I could not find a Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 disc within 10 miles of myself. So it is sometimes very difficult to find games at a retail outlet. So I would suggest just purchasing it online if you really have any trouble with buying the game.
And you can still find some games on Steam. You can find S-Cross Tekken on Steam.
Yeah,
Street Fighter on Steam. I don't know. KOF is coming to Steam.
It already is.
Okay, well, it's out on Steam. I haven't been keeping up with that. But I heard the netcode is way better, so hopefully more people will play that game. I don't know if Virtual Fighter isn't on Steam, right? None of those other games are.
No.
But you can get Virtual Fighter is an Xbox Live and a PSN title, so you can just buy that straight from online. And it sucks because PSN may not be the greatest place to play games online or play fighting games in general, but they have the easiest access
Probably.
to fighting games. You can buy a PSN Plus and get Street Fighter, Virtual Fighter, KOF, I believe, and one other game, all
Really?
for free.
All of those free on PS Plus?
Yes.
PS Plus sounds amazing every time I hear about it.
Yeah, so you can get all of those, and I think the DLC is like half off or something if you're a PSN
Okay.
Plus subscriber or something.
Someone said MK9 as well.
MK9. Oh yeah, that's right. MK9 is on Steam.
But yeah. And Injustice is coming out on Steam
That's
in November. So let's hope that pans out well. I know Russians love MK9 on Steam. They fucking go crazy over it.
Good to know.
Yeah, I don't know why. Like, I don't know why it's such a phenomenon. But, yes.
So next we have, well, it's kind of, first you got to find out what you want to play on, I'd imagine.
Yes. So, normally, everyone starts off with pad, if they're not from the arcade generation. And I am a big proponent for not playing on pad, because pad players are notoriously horrible at tournaments to deal with, because they just have, like, so much, like, specific shit that they have to do for their own little gamepad, and it's just much easier to use a stick for everyone else in the world. Please just use stick. I hate pad players.
You know, there's actually a YouTube comment last week because we brought up that discussion because I guess K-Brad was retiring because he just couldn't handle it anymore or something because his hands like just couldn't play the game or something. arthritis or I don't know.
It might be
I couldn't
easier to
remember
use
the
a pad.
Yeah, somebody said on YouTube that they played with an arcade stick for a really long time and they couldn't play it because they got arthritis, and they switched over to a pad because they could play on the pad.
That's cool.
So I mean, maybe if you're
if you have physical limitations, I'm all for you using whatever you need. You can use fucking Broly legs, tongue, fucking
Yeah.
controller.
just
I don't
use your
care.
he can use his tongue. You can't even use your thumbs. Come on.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I mean,
I
if
just
you're
hate
that
that
diehard, maybe.
I just hate that it disrupts tournaments. It really does.
Well, PlayStation to Xbox converter pads
That's
disrupt.
there's so much
tournaments.
stuff. Like it's just like why not just play on an arcade stick? I understand why. Like I get it. I empathize with you guys. You can only play on pad. I get it. Just stop screwing it up.
But to get to the point, I don't see that many people play on Xbox pads. I see Jeopardy play on Xbox pad.
there's
There's a couple, but more people, if they're gonna play on pad, they play on the PlayStation pad, or they'll go with the Mad Catz, which I believe is really the only company that has a pad like that.
yeah. That's actually useful, yeah.
Yeah, it's got the 6-button arcade style layout on it, so you can go and find those Mad Catz pads at madcats.com. They also sell, obviously,
Stick.
probably the best arcade stick
Yes.
you're
Mad
gonna
Catz
get for your money.
Mad Catz has probably the best budget arcade stick that you're gonna find. Maybe you can argue maybe Hori if you're just a Hori fan, you could probably find it cheaper. But Mad Catz TEs are the set standard of the community. That's the line for excellence. Like if it's better than a TE, it's great. If it's worse than a TE, it's buy a TE basically. So
And then of course, like, we have Arcade Shock, who sells Quamba, right? And
Yes.
so they're
and Hori, I guess.
a
Do they
little
sell
bit cheaper.
They are cheaper, and
They're-
Quambas are dual modded, but they are from China, and they're not historically reliable in a tournament setting. I'm speaking this on experience because
I
yeah,
never have problems.
you never have problems.
I know how to do super. That's all I gotta
Don't
say.
you? Fuck you, Harrison. And but yeah, Quambas are dual modded, and they're around 120, 130, so they're actually very cheap if you're having money issues.
Well, the dual modded ones, the fusions are around 200, I think.
I thought that was just 8 arc.
Oh wait, yeah, you're right.
No, 8
You are
arc.
correct.
8 arc's
arc's
different.
6. Okay.
8 arc is another set of 6 that are dual modded. They're a little bit higher of quality than the Quambas. And they have some nifty features along with them, like those. Put them on the table or whatever. I don't know. You probably don't you have that?
I have an arcade stick right here. I can show you what it looks like.
Oh wow!
If you've never
Production
seen an arcade
value.
stick before.
Production value.
It's a special edition Chongli one.
No, I thought you had that the.
I do, but this is what it looks like. This is what
Okay,
arcade stick
that's an arcade-
should it look like
That is an arcade
when you're
stick.
purchasing it.
That is an arcade stick.
Just for reference.
I can show you a GameCube controller.
So that was 8 arc. Now I got Arcade Shock, which just sells arcade sticks. They don't
Yeah,
really
they don't
produce
make
any. Arcade Shock has obviously been a sponsor of a lot of NorCal, SoCal, huge events. They
Yeah.
sponsored Evo, so you can just go check them out at arcadeshock.com. They sell mostly Hori sticks and Quamba sticks, I think.
They also sell parts for them,
Yes, they sell a lot of parts. I think they're more dedicated on parts, aren't they?
probably. They're one of the only people who do silent buttons and silent sticks. That in America, at least, that's easy to get.
So you can go find that stuff out on Arcade Shock. And then for Hori, stores.horiusa.com.
If you want to buy directly from them.
They just make some flat out awesome looking sticks.
The VLX still, I mean, that's like a 2-year-old stick now, isn't it?
The tank of a stick.
And that is just.
It's like carrying around a rocket launcher. or
Some
something.
people say that's like the best stick ever made, and
The super huge one, right?
yeah, it's the big one, and I can believe it. Some people just love it. Like I know GC Yoshi just fucking. He loves giant sticks. I don't know what that says about him as a person, but he just loves giant things. So when he had one back in the day, he just loved it, you know.
Well, that and something about having it being heavy. So a lot of players don't have a place to set down a stick. They most of the time play on their laps,
Yeah.
like I do. And so I want a stick that doesn't move when I'm doing stuff with it. That sounded terrible.
Yeah.
But if I'm trying to do a combo and I want to do FADC Ultra, I don't want to fling my arcade stick.
Yeah, I'm like the opposite. I like being able to move my stick. Because like I know people like felt on the bottom, which is like an 8-arc thing. They have like felt, but like I don't like felt on my stick. Which brings you to something we have Marvelous Customs, which is if you're really picky about your stick and you just want a godlike stick, then you can have a custom stick built, and that is incredibly more expensive than having a regular, just a regular TE or regular Hori. But it's more for if you really want to customize your art, customize your, like how you want your stick. Like if you want felt, if you don't want felt, if you want like specific designs etched in, stuff like that. Or like you want silent buttons, stuff like that. So you don't have to do the work. Someone else does the work for you.
Yeah.
So there's that. There's options for all the tiers. There's like godlike, super crazy, customized. There's the TE. There's the Hori and the other side ones. And then there's like there are shit sticks that are fine.
Like the first Mad Catz arcade.
Yeah, the
SEs.
SEs, they're fine.
They're fine. Hey, if you're just goofing around, $60.
They were like 20 at one point.
Were they?
They were the brawl stick. I mean, the WWE sticks were $20 at Walmart at one point. They were bad, but I mean they were $20.
Well, now that you have your game
Okay.
and you have your arcade stick,
Okay.
or maybe you don't have your game yet. Maybe you're deciding what game you want to buy. How do you determine that?
What game you're gonna play?
Yeah.
It's really like, what do you like in a fighter?
Do you like Superman?
Yeah, that's pretty much. It's really superficial things. Like,
Yeah.
yeah. Did you play Street Fighter 2 in the back in the day? You're probably gonna like Street Fighter 4. Do you just love fucking Thor? You're like, Thor's the coolest motherfucker on the earth. Like, you're gonna play Marvel maybe because you just love Thor, and you're gonna be disappointed. But I mean, like, you're probably gonna want to play Marvel. If you're just the most avid DC or Mortal Kombat fan, you're gonna play, Mortal Kombat or Injustice. I feel like if you don't love your game, then you can't get into it fully at the start of your career or whatever, your fighting game journey.
Yeah.
So I feel like you need to love your game before.
That and like maybe you like 3D games too. I mean,
Oh,
there's
yeah,
Soul
Tekken.
Calibur, Tekken,
Tekken.
Virtual Fighter. So, I mean, you might just have to goof around with those games and see if you like it.
Yeah, I like going to a tournament is actually really good for this, especially majors, because they're just random games. There's just random. You can play Mark of the Wolves. You can play just random old games. You can play random new games. You can play like Arcane Heart. Maybe you just love
Hey,
Arcane
as long
Heart.
as you can find somebody to play with,
Yeah.
nothing's stopping you from playing those.
So
other
you can
games.
just sample a lot of these games at tournaments, and that's another plus of going to tournaments, just to figure out, hey, this game's actually really cool. I want to learn it. Like Guilty Gear. That's how a lot of Guilty Gear players get into it.
Okay, well now you know what game you're gonna play.
Okay.
Say, I guess let's go with Marvel. Say you fucking love Thor.
All right, I love
He's
Thor.
such a sick character. You're gonna play him, but now you gotta pick 2 other characters. How do you go about without the technical side? Without the I need a beam assist? I don't even know what that is yet.
Yeah, how it happens is because I know a lot of, I don't want to say scrub players, but let's just say new players, because new players aren't inherently scrubs. They just be like, hey, this guy's cool. I'm gonna fucking pick him,
Yeah.
And in a game like Marvel, that really works out. Yeah, the new Marvel, because like you could just be like, you gotta love Devil May Cry, fucking all Devil May Cry, and then you're set for life,
Yeah.
So like,
yeah,
you know,
you're particularly
I love
lucky
Mega
in that.
Man. I'm just like, Mega Man X is the best game, and you're set for life. You play Zero.
Play Zero, yeah.
You're good. So it's really lenient in team-based games such as Marvel. I think it takes a while for you to figure out what you actually like playing. You have to try out different characters.
that might also be a factor on what game you play too.
That is true. Because like, say I'm just really aggressive. I can still play Street Fighter and just be really aggressive with even a character like Ryu.
Yeah.
I can be super aggressive with Ryu, and that's just my style, and that's how I develop over time. But like, I feel like you have to develop your style over time and not just be like, I'm this player right now. Because back in the day, all I did was shoot arrows. It's all literally 90% of the match. I shot arrows, and people just died. So I tried to transition myself from that to more of a mid-range game, stuff like that. So like, at the beginning you could do one thing, but over time you could change.
I mean, I know like a lot of the characters that I picked in Street Fighter were determined by who was good at the time. Like
Yep.
I was totally like back in the day, I was totally
That's-
like a Momochi fanboy, or you know, like a Ida fanboy, or like I picked up Gen just because of Yep. So and
think
I played
everyone-
him for longer than any other character. I played before Cody, but then when Cody came out, I was like, yeah, I'm just dropping everything. I didn't even need to play the character. To
Sometimes that happens. Sometimes you're the most tier whore motherfucker on earth. You're just like, oh my god, who's the best? I want to play the best. I want to win, win, win. And then like some character comes out, it's cool, and like, hey, he's not the best, but you know, I'm gonna learn him.
yeah, that that also
Things
might
just
be
change.
affect your decision too. Hey, do you want to win?
Yeah, that's another thing.
That's a huge thing that every time somebody asks me, hey, what character should I play? The first question I ask back to them is, do they want to win? And if the answer is yes, then you just go straight for top tier. There's no second guessing yourself.
I don't agree with that.
You don't agree with that?
No, I feel like you could do well if you just like the character. It doesn't matter if they're good or not.
You can do well. You're not gonna win.
I'm so optimistic though about it. I don't know why.
I used to be optimistic. I used to be really optimistic.
Cause like if you just love Hakan, I'm gonna be like you play Hakan. You go for it, buddy. One of these days.
One of these days, Chemo's gonna want to be Rufus, and he's gonna have to pick a different character because
Right.
that shit's never gonna happen.
I'm just a nice, optimistic person. That's all I am. I'm not even a troll.
All right. Well, now you're playing Marvel.
All right.
Now you're playing Thor.
Thor, Zero, Virgil.
Thor, Zero, Virgil. Sounds like a pretty decent team, right? It's probably decent. It's got Virgil on it.
You're probably just-
Where do you start learning? Or what do you start learning, I guess? Now, the first thing I have is throwing. Because that's kind of universal, right? There's throwing in virtually every single game.
I would think comprehending actual things like normals would be your first thing, because like everyone has moves, and like some players are just like, I want a Shoryuken only, and they just Shoryuken for like 5 minutes, and there's other moves in the game, and
They found the
the
Shoryuken
Shoryuken
motion. It's the greatest
motion,
thing ever.
yeah, and like you know. But so like learning your moveset and learning your actual normals is, I think, actually way more important than learning some concepts about the game, because I think top tier players don't know a lot about their normals sometimes, you know. So if you begin to understand about your normals, you're gonna be way ahead of a lot of people at your level, and I think it's an easy thing to do, you know. And I
Just kind of throw stuff out and see what works, I guess.
yeah, and I would suggest watching quote unquote good players play the game and see what they do, and to try and mimic that at first. You can diverge after that, but you need a basis, because like if you're going with a blank slate and you're just like, Marvel's easy, I press LMH super and he's dead if I X Factor, and now I can win every match. Like that's not how it works, you know. So you know, you have to watch other players play. Like you can't just be like, well, if I just walk into my opponent to get ultra, I get a big combo, and then I can start winning. Like that's not a good strategy.
I don't know.
So like you need to watch people play. I think, and YouTube is the best way to do that. I think YouTube channels like IPLAYWINNER.com, TeamSuki.com, NYC Furby, I always screw up his
FGC7.
FGC7. You know, great ways to find match videos. I even have videos. The waste of flash.
Okay, well, assuming before that you learn the button layout of the game that you're playing, which is very important, I'd assume.
The instruction booklet tells you that.
Now that you know your normals, now I think the next part is figuring out how to do damage to people.
Optimizing combos is what we mean, or learning combos.
Yeah, exactly.
So that's something I've been trying to correct with the Marvel community by myself, because I don't know why anyone else doesn't do it. Because SRK used to be the only way to pretty much like discuss like combos and stuff, and it used to be in a forums format, and like you post like a video, it's like 40 seconds long. Hey, look at this combo, and it's like and like just a combo. You know, and then they wouldn't update the list. Like people just wanted to be the thread maker for forums, but not.
I think
update
a
them.
lot of those forums and threads can easily be simplified into like a 2-sentence
Yeah.
paragraph.
So right now I'm trying to do a combo archive for Marvel, and that means basically just showing people what to do with Marvel combos. And there's not very many analogous things for that for Street Fighter, but Street Fighter is a much more simpler game to learn combos in because pretty much all your essential combos are either going to be in frame data or top players are going to be using them. And Marvel's way different because there's so much evolving with the game constantly.
There's a lot more situational stuff.
Yeah, and it's a lot more situational, and I mean that's the same with KOF sometimes, like just getting like a random confirm into an HD, you know. There's a lot of games where it's situational things that you have to know. And like a game like Injustice and an MK9, they're constantly changing like every fucking month. So like you have to be like on top of it. So
or just wait for somebody else to figure it out for you.
Yeah.
Which
so another thing, you have to watch top players to see what they're going to do for combo wise, and hopefully they release tech if they're not bums. But it's really hard to find combo depositories in the FGC. I'm trying to help, but it's hard for one person to do it. But yeah, to learn a combo, I would ask a top player. I think that's the most effective thing because usually they have ways, either just like repetition. Because like I couldn't do the bucktooth loop in Vanilla Marvel, which is like the simplest Doom combo ever, because I couldn't comprehend like air dashing in a combo. Like I was just like, how's it? I don't get it. So I spent like 4 hours trying to learn how to do M foot dive, air dash down, M, like.
Well, it's like I was saying. A previous episode, number 49, that I didn't even bother with one-frame links because they were one-frame links, and I was like, why would you ever want to do that? It's way too hard. Just learn it.
It's repetition. I think chunking's a good strategy. If you don't know what chunking is, it means like learning a specific part of a combo, not focusing on the whole thing. So if you learn every specific part, just piece them all together.
And then, so out of all that, learn your max combo, and then I would try and find that one combo that can just punish everything, I guess, or as much as humanly possible.
Just the
simple, most simple things where even
corner.
If your brain shuts off, you can still do it.
That's why I'm a big proponent of not doing optimal combos every time, because like you can see Daigo, he does forward fierce and into like crouch fierce into like uppercut.
Yeah.
Sometimes he doesn't do that. Sometimes he just uppercuts because like maybe he doesn't trust himself in that situation, or maybe he just wants just to get the damage in. So there's different situations in where like you're like, I don't know if I can do this right now, like just in your head. So like if you're second guessing yourself, just don't do it. Just do the simple thing that you know, and then just work from there.
Exactly.
Because there's been so many situations where I'm like, I got this one, and I just drop it. And I'm like, fuck, and like I lose the game.
Look at how many times that happens in any game. Really.
Yeah. Like if you miss like a link with Cammy from a knockdown, that could be the game for you. Like, and then, so it's sometimes simpler is much better. So you should know your simple as well as your complicated, because sometimes your complicated will win you a match if you're on it.
And I think one thing personally is you're learning everything so quickly that you want to slow down. You know, I mean, play as much as you want, sure, if you like playing it, but try and make it as fun as possible all the time, or you're going to get bored with it or not want to play it. Because if you're sitting there in training mode doing one-frame links, that sucks. Nobody wants to do that. It's not fun at all.
My strategy for practicing, I think I've mentioned this many times, and people still don't do it. I don't know why. If you are blessed to have a computer monitor, maybe even a laptop, and you can play on a different monitor, you should be able to practice while you're watching streams. If you're watching this podcast or listening to podcasts, you should be playing if you really want to be dedicated, you know? I mean, it's late some places, and people are like, I don't want to wake up.
You should just be playing all the time.
No. You know, you don't want to wake up your neighbors or what the fuck. But you should be playing, like, you should be doing multiple things at the same time. Because if you want to practice one-frame links in Street Fighter, that's going to be tedious work. And you could be watching a major while doing it. And so you could do two things at once. You don't have to be a couch potato, you know. Just do stuff.
I couldn't help but notice, but somebody in chat said, how do I make training mode fun?
Oh.
I mean, I think that making it fun kind of goes away from practicing combos.
You can make it fun.
You can make it fun.
You're not practicing
You're not
useful
practicing
things.
yeah, you're not practicing useful things. Maybe you're practicing swag combos or something like that in Marvel. But I think one important thing you should abuse training mode for is punishing stuff. You're just learning the game. A lot of that very basic knowledge is really useful in getting you out of those situations that maybe other players just can't get out of. Say you're watching a stream and he's doing an unsafe move and the guy just never punishes it because he just doesn't know. If you were in that same situation, you'd be prepared.
Yeah. How I make training mode fun is I just go crazy sometimes. And if you really want to make training mode fun in Marvel, you should just pick a character you don't normally pick and just try and learn a combo. Like, I know how to do Faultine loops with Strange because I spent like 10 hours on it. And I could do it in the right side, okay? I could do it on the right side. Left side, that's hard, okay? I'm not even going to screw with that. But, like, I just got in there, like, I want to learn this, and I learned it, and it's like, yeah, that's cool. And, like, I could do some Rocket Raccoon boulder loop stuff, you know, just because I wanted to screw around. It's really easy to screw around in Marvel and just have fun. And Street Fighter is less so, but, I mean, you could pick a different character and try and learn links. And then, if you know those links, then maybe you can work on a neutral. Then now you have a second alternate character that you can counterpick with. So
setups are good to learn too, like
Yeah.
getting a hard knockdown or a throw.
Safe jumps.
Yeah, safe jump setups. It's very important, especially in a game like Street Fighter where that's like
that's for
almost like all the offense in that game. So yeah, I think now that you've got the basics down, now that
so easy.
now that you know how to do solar plex crouch fierce uppercut with Ryu, what do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do?
What do you do?
You go online.
You go online to play. That's this generation.
That's this generation. That didn't exist
That's me.
when Macross was 12 years old playing
I think it's a lie.
MVC2.
I think he's an 09er. Pretty sure Mike Ross is an 09er. I think I'm more OG than Mike Ross. Better than Dota. That's all I know.
But yeah, so go online. And I think that it might seem daunting at first, especially now with games being out as long as they have Street Fighter and Marvel. You might get destroyed.
Yeah, I think people go online just to see where they're at, if they're like better than tryhards or whatever. But
there are functions to help you with that. There are options that say search for people my skill level. In your
that
case,
doesn't
0 points.
work, dude.
It
In Street
kinda
Fighter
does.
does. In Street
Yeah,
Fighter
it
and
kinda does.
Street Fighter and Injustice, it does work, but it doesn't happen in Marvel. I agree with a lot of people in the sense that online is not optimal to play the games because it's just
I think it's completely necessary now, though. If
It's
you're
terrible,
if you're gonna
but-
start playing the game.
you need to do it just because you're not going to be at a gathering every day, you know.
Yeah.
Every day of the week, and if you are, then you're blessed, and you should become Christy. But it's not everyone. Everyone doesn't have a session every couple of days. You know, some people have a session a week. Some people have a session a month. Some people have a session every 3 months or never. So, like you can use online to get better. I mean, there's been online warriors that have come out. You know, I think Wolf Chrome was a good example of one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And you know what? It's online, so take it with a grain of salt. Don't go
Yeah.
in thinking that
Oh, there'll be a lot of salt.
there's gonna be just stuff that you wouldn't believe that's even possible to happen, and you just kind of gotta just shrug it off and just I don't know. Now you know, I guess. Now you
Yeah.
know it's never. There's a lot of random stuff that you might know that you wouldn't know if you didn't go online. So.
Yeah, I learn things when I go online, but then again, I try and play with actual good players rather than just matchmaking 100% of the time. You can just message people on Twitter or, you know, Facebook if you have them as a friend. Like, hey, let's play some sets. And 9 times out of 10, they'll probably like, yeah, okay. So, I mean, go for it. Believe in yourself. But then again, what is the most important thing to do?
Go to tournaments.
Go to tournaments.
But actually, before we get into
Oh.
that, I
That's
can't remember if I said this one thing. Did I say you shouldn't learn frame data right off the bat?
Oh,
My recommendation is don't
don't learn frame data
off the bat.
off the bat.
Just because you're already saturating yourself with so much information. I feel like if you're trying to take in so much, it's just going to be overwhelming and you're going to give up.
Yeah, looking into hard data stuff is more for advanced when you're more
It is. It's
when you
more, definitely more
understand
for advanced.
the engine and more understand fighting games better, because I mean some of it's not even, most of it's not useful. A lot of it's not useful. It's just gobbledygook sometimes for a lot of the data. So like if you're not attuned to what it is and in what situations you could utilize it in, then you're just gonna be confused. So like
Exactly.
you should understand the concepts behind it, but you shouldn't just like go reading through like pages and pages of frame data. Like you should know what the startup of a move is, I think.
I'm.
What startup means. I'm sorry. What startup of a move means.
I think you should know that light punch is faster than medium punch.
That's what I mean.
And medium punch is faster than heavy punch. I don't think you need to know the frame data of each one. You just need to know that that's
I
the
know.
case for
I think I'm biased though, because I'm.
almost 100% of everything in the game, I would think. Another thing you need to know is how fast throws are, I think is important. Not at the very beginning, but
No.
once you kind of get into tournaments and stuff,
Yeah.
you need to realize, in Street Fighter, throws are 3 frames, and I can't
What's the
match
tech window?
jab or something. Yeah,
What's the tech window?
like 10 frames, isn't it?
I forget.
It's kind of, I don't know.
Marvel is 1 frame throws, and the tech window is 7 frames. Completely unreactable, says Dacid Bro, which is wrong.
All right, well now you know that throws are 1 frame. You have 7 frames to tech it.
Yeah, it's
You've
impossible.
gone online.
It's literally impossible. You can't tech throws in Marvel.
You've been salty for the past month. You've learned your basic combos. Now, okay, well, the next step is finding
People to
finding
play.
a tournament first.
Yes. I
Not
wonder.
even going to one.
I wonder where we can have a suppository for that information.
So obviously we discussed that in the first part of the show, but I still think the number one place to find that stuff out is SRK. Regardless if, like, just, I mean, that's how I found Starbase.
Yeah,
Is
that's how I
SRK.
found stuff.
Yeah, I mean, it's still
I
there.
feel like that's not today's generation though. I think we're out of. I think we're old men.
Really?
Harrison. Yeah. Because there are North Bay people that,
But
NorCal people that
you've
are
just
on-
bought the game. You know nobody in the community at all.
Okay.
Period. How do you, like?
That's a good question.
You can't just go on Twitter and start searching people. You don't know anybody.
I know.
You don't even know any
But
players.
how do they know SRK?
What?
How would they know SRK?
Because he's playing Ryu and he does solar plex and the crouch fierce uppercut into Shoryuken.
He's
and
gonna
you're
type
like,
in
that's an awesome move, and he's gonna
Shoryukens.
type in Shoryuken.com.
Shoryukens are cool.
And then
Like,
you're just like, holy shit! There's an entire community full of fighting game players.
that's not how it works.
It's not how it works. But
What? I don't know the answer to how players to discover something. Harrison's typing something.
I'm
to
just
Google.
curious.
No. Damn.
Blow up.
Sorry.
I typed in fighting games in Google, and let's just say SRK didn't come up.
Flash games came up, so Flash games are bigger than the FGC, which is true. But I don't know the answer if you don't know much about fighting games to get into the actual competitive scene. I'm sorry, like I don't know. I always had the idea of them actually including it in the pamphlet for the game. Be like, hey, come to IPLAYWINNER SRK if you want to know about tournaments and stuff like that. But Capcom's, so I mean, I don't think they want to do that idea.
Yeah, it's kind of hard, isn't it? But that's why we're here.
Yeah.
This is the whole purpose of the show.
Yeah.
Is to give. But then how do they get to our show? This is like a before the chicken and egg thing. This doesn't
Yeah.
make any sense, after all. But we're just.
I
gonna
like playing
disregard that.
winners. Ooh, okay. Like, where's the hub of events? Like,
Anyway, so SRK. So you can mostly just go on there, search your scene, I guess, or search your area. And, I mean, I would say 90% of the time something is going to pop up within 5,200 miles. Unless you're in the middle of Utah or something like that.
5,200 miles.
50 to 100 miles.
Oh.
Something's probably going to be there. I would
Yeah.
imagine.
There's a lot of fighting game communities and we'll show that with the project we're doing. I don't know if we're gonna announce all the names because it's kind of weird if we're just like Argentina and like on the show. But we have a document and stuff and a page.
Yes.
So I mean, there's a lot of fighting game communities out there, and there's more than that responded to our tweets. I mean, I went to a random Injustice tournament like a month ago, like No one knew about it. I just
I
went
was
to it.
there.
You weren't there. Yeah, you
Oh,
were.
Yeah, I was.
Yeah, all right.
I drove you there.
I forgot. But like, you know, like that wasn't on SRK or anything. It was just like a random thing.
Yeah.
I have Alzheimer's. I'm sorry. But there's a lot of tournaments. There's a lot of communities around you. It's just hard to find, and if it's just hard to find. Because I remember back in the day, Wednesday Night Fights had call-ins with Offcast, and someone said, no one plays fighting games up here, and I live in Santa Rosa. And I was like, whoa, I live near there, and I play fighting games. That's a lie. So, I mean, there's a lot of people that are probably in your area that play fighting games. You just don't know it.
Which, yeah, might be because there's a lot of.
Because I was playing for 2 years before I realized there's sessions in the town next to me, you know?
Yeah.
So, it takes
15 minutes away.
Yeah.
15 minutes away. You didn't even know.
takes getting a step. Because I thought Ram Nation was right next to my house, actually. I thought it was near, I thought it was in Rona Park.
You're one of those idiots from Northern California.
Because he
who
said
doesn't know what a map
707,
looks
and
like.
I was like, whoa. Anyways. But yeah, going to tournaments is the most important thing. If there's one near you, if there's one 50 miles from you, sometimes you gotta make the trek if you're that dedicated. I don't blame you if you're like, hey, I got a real life, Honzo. You're a jerk. I hate you. That's fine. You know, you don't have to go to tournaments. If you want to play fighting games, you can watch streams and compete online and be sad life and go to Evo and have fun and compete and blow people up all the time. That happens all the time. There's people from Iowa that come to Evo and blow people up. There's people from Czechoslovakia that blow people up. You know, it doesn't matter where you're from. You can still do well. Because I didn't know I was decent at Marvel until I went to a tournament and I beat everyone, including Hans. Because Hans is free.
Hans is kind of free.
I beat him, blew him up. Then he insulted me. And went on to NeoGaf and insulted me. And guess who else insulted me? Maximilian did. I remember.
I don't think anybody gives a shit.
I know. I still
Nobody
have the page.
So when you go to a tournament, what are you gonna expect?
I expect
You suck.
loud minorities to punch me in the face.
We're trying to get people to go to these tournaments.
I know. That's not true, though. That's not true at all, Harrison.
Thank you.
I know. Why were you thinking? You didn't see where I was going with that? That's not true. There's a lot of nice people at fighting game tournaments. I've never been punched yet. And I'm kind of punchable.
Yeah, you kind of see a lot of negative stuff when it comes to FGC. And
Yeah.
It's kind of disheartening when I've been in the FGC for 4 years now, and I have yet to have somebody like feel like they've verbally abused me or anything
Yeah.
like that.
I mean, it's
I
different.
don't know.
There's difference in
It might be, yeah.
scenes. But I mean, my experience with the fighting game community is incredibly positive. There's incredibly positive people. I mean, just talk to random people at tournaments. They might be weird. I'm weird. Harrison's weird. Kind of. And, you know, we're just normal people, you know, outside the fighting game community. It's just that we all play fighting games. That doesn't make us, like, hate mongers or whatever, you know. I mean, there's bad seeds, obviously, but that's in anything you do in life. So, I mean, you have to deal with it sometimes.
I think when you go to a session for the first time or a tournament for the first time, you got to be prepared to step up to the plate, so to speak. And
Yeah,
because there's a lot of situations where you're gonna be at a session or something,
not knowing.
and I am 100% guilty of this. If you're standing behind me and I'm playing a game and you have an arcade stick and you're looking at me until you tell me, hey, I got next, or say, I play winner, I'm not going to get off at all.
Yeah.
So
I do that.
there could be Obama with an arcade stick chilling behind me and be like, Obama, or I wouldn't even say anything. He'd be looking at me and be like, wow, there's Obama behind me. That's kinda cool. And I'm still not going to get up for Obama until he says, hey, I got next.
Yeah, that's a big problem with newcomers to tournaments because they see like Justin Wong playing Ricky Ortiz and like, oh, I don't want to call next. Just be like, yeah, I got next.
If you want to learn, and if you're kind of lucky enough now to run into somebody who's, like a super top player that wants to sit there and play with you, take the opportunity. Don't. Maybe you're getting destroyed. Don't let that discourage you. Just
Just
keep playing. You're gonna learn so much just by
yeah.
playing that
You
person
go
an hour.
you go to sessions, you go to majors to play the game. You don't go to watch most of the time. So if you're a competitive player, that's what I mean. So if you're there to play games, you play games. You assert yourself. Okay, I got next. I know it might be awkward because you don't know these people, but you're not gonna know a
Yeah.
lot of people in life. You have to deal with it. I mean, I remember the first time I went to Ram Nation, it was in some guy's garage. If you guys don't know that,
Yeah.
I was very early and I was confused, and like I didn't know anyone.
You never want to be early for the
Yeah.
first time to
So like
to a
I was like,
session.
so we drove up and like it's just someone's garage. Like oh no, it's gonna end badly. But they were nice and everything was fine. So I feel like people hype themselves up and work themselves up
Just
in their head.
don't get discouraged. Take the initiative. Nobody is ever going to do something for you in this community. Unfortunately.
I would.
No, nobody is ever gonna do anything for you in this community, and like, what I mean by that is, yeah, somebody, if somebody's gonna maybe ask you or answer your question, but nobody's gonna say, hey, like, hey, random person, ask me a bunch of questions for an hour. Nobody's gonna go up and do that. So,
That's right.
just go up to somebody. Don't be afraid.
This isn't
Say
Reddit,
hi.
guys. Just not ask me anythings. This is real life. All right, we play hard.
Everybody here is human. It's just, I don't know. This isn't esports yet.
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 One more esports, I'm charging people to talk to me.
Yeah?
Yeah. $5 a word.
$5 a word.
Actually, $1 a word. I'm not that expensive. I'm not good. Once I win majors. So never.
And, I mean, I think that's kind of the end of the road for your beginner
Yeah.
tutorial for how to get into the fighting game community.
Just. Yeah.
And once you've got to that point, it's basically session, tournament, session, tournament, and then eventually it's going to get to the point where online doesn't do anything for you anymore, and you have no choice but to go to sessions.
'Cause you're
And then
addicted.
sometimes, depending on your area, maybe sessions don't even level you up anymore. Maybe, like, fortunately for me, I have a bunch of friends who I've got to know over a long time, like 3 or 4 years from Starbase, so I get the chance to play with them and I enjoy playing with them. I think it would kind of suck if you went to a session for 3 or 4 years and not developed any friendship with anybody.
There are
And-
people like that. I'm sorry.
and it's exactly why I'm bringing it up. You go to a session for a couple years, I'm better than all these people now. Now it's kind of, well, now you're just stuck going to tournaments, which
Yep.
I mean, kind of makes the game not as fun, I guess. I mean, you kind of lose that fun factor.
You lose the thrill of
You
winning
still get
for
the
the
thrill.
first time. Winning
Yeah.
for like oh my god, I'm getting better and stuff like that. And then it becomes more mechanical, I guess, in nature. And there's definitely a divot somewhere along the lines where you're like, man, this doesn't feel like when I started. But that's for a lot of things that you're trying to get good at. If you really have a drive to get good at fighting games, then I mean, you have a competitive nature about you in the first place, so you should embrace it and not feel discouraged that you're like spending 8 hours that like the day you could have gone and watched a movie with friends you spent like doing like one frame links. I mean, you should definitely have a balance in life, I would hope, but you shouldn't treat it like a job, and you shouldn't feel like it's a job unless you're getting paid. I guess you can, but even then I wouldn't.
That option is just so unfeasible at this point. It's ridiculous.
Well, I just mean like some like billionaire came up to me like, oh my god, I own Apple, and here's money, go play video games,
I had somebody email me a submission, and one of the things that he said to me in the email was, none of the money goes into my pocket or anybody's pocket. It all goes back into our fighting game community. And part of me's thinking like, that's cool, right? But the other part of me is like, how much money are you like making? Like, obviously, I mean, you have a job that you're supporting your life with. It's not like you're making this your career or anything like that. So, I mean, That's cool, but
Some people are nice, Harrison.
I know some. Unless you run into people like me, where I don't get off the station, you're just stuck there. But yeah.
Yep.
That's
What do
kinda-
you do after going to tournaments?
What do you do after going to tournaments? Then you go to majors, but I guess that's still a tournament, right?
It's different.
That's different.
Majors are weird your first time. My first majors were Revelations. You know how odd I felt?
Go
'Cause
with.
everything was crazy.
Try and get somebody to go with.
Oh yeah. That's
Don't
another
go by
thing.
yourself.
I went by myself. Did you know that? Revelations, I
Really?
went by myself.
Wow.
That
So
was my
not
first
only
major.
not only you went by yourself,
I had
you
the
went
room
to like
all
the
to myself.
worst fucking tournament.
I had the room
you
all to
could've gone
myself.
to.
It was great. I slept. I was nude the entire time, Harrison. If you must know, if you have to ask again. But yeah, I was alone, and then I was like homeless for a day in LA. It was bad. Don't do that. Don't plan out your.
Man, that sounds like the worst day ever. Alone at the worst tournament ever.
It was our first
And
time
the
being. I
worst-
was 17 at the time
The
too.
worst tournament ever is in LA. Like
It was
the
South
shittiest
Central.
place.
It was South Central. Because it used to be the Flamingo by the airport.
That sounds absolutely terrible.
Yeah. I beat Mago though. So
I'm
it was worth
surprised
it.
I'm surprised you're here right now. Surprised
There-
you can just quit the FGC after
There
that.
was some bad moments, but I'm a hard motherfucker.
Wow.
But yeah, I was 17 at that time. Told my dad, "Hey, I'm just going to SoCal." Zoop.
Well, I guess. Do you have questions?
Yeah, we have a lot.
We have a lot of questions.
Yeah, if you guys have questions, go ahead and send them to @HarrisonSBA and @Honzo Gonzo. I am on the question board because I brought my laptop because I am smarty McSmart. @YourRedMage asks, do you feel every scene, no matter the size, needs that one guy who's better than everyone else that pushes people to play better? I feel like it helps. And then at the same time,
That
at
one.
at a certain point, it starts not helping. And I'll give you an example.
Cushy.
Christy's the example, because like if you have a player that you're like, man, I'm so close to beating this guy, because like back in the day, I don't want to brag, but it was pretty much me and F Champ for NorCal back in vanilla days, and he was better than me. I'm not gonna lie and say I was better than him, but like sometimes I beat him, and like the only reason I beat him because I practiced hard just to beat him, and like I practiced hard to like overcome him. So if you have that one player that you have a chance at beating, and you really want to do it, I feel like he can level you up quickly. And
I feel like, I mean, you have
efficiently.
to obviously have the initiative to want to beat him too.
Yeah. The opposite side of that coin is if someone's winning for 2 years, and with the same strategy, it just becomes like what am I doing in life?
It
Like
becomes a, like,
it's a really quick downward spiral.
is
into, like,
that person really that much better than everybody else, or does everybody else just give up?
Yeah, it's weird when you start blaming other things like the game and like your life schedule and like people in your life. Like it goes quickly down, and like I feel like it can hurt a scene a lot. I think East Coast is a great example of how it hurts a scene at the moment. But don't let that discourage you if someone's just trash canning you every day. Just try and get better. Like that's all I can tell you. Like I can't tell you to like not be discouraged.
But yeah, I mean, I think so.
I'll tell you about that.
You have to
later.
have somebody that wants to help too. That's another thing.
Yeah, that's if you're fortunate. I feel like a lot of people don't have that, and it's hard. I think that's why I think online interaction is so important in the scene, because like you can have top players help you, and they're generally nice about it.
So this is actually a good question because it brings up the topic that Hans was bringing up about recording the pools.
Oh yeah, I was gonna talk about
but
that.
it was by Gerard Mage, and he says streams getting better and better streams getting better and telling a better story to the viewers. What are some things you would like to see done or do more?
We were talking about this like an hour ago, and you're the streamer because I don't stream anything.
It's hard at this point. We just need more money. That's
Money
like,
is the problem.
I think that's what's stopping anything,
And
any growth or
Yeah,
any just production value is just money.
I made a comment.
There's
on-
nothing we can really do now to expand on anything without more money.
I made a comment on Twitter a while back where I said players shouldn't get more money, production should get more money, and via that players will get more money. And then a bunch of people jumped on me and said, but if players don't get money, how will they get better? And people don't want to watch the tournaments where the good players are not at. And while that makes sense, they're not making money as it is, so it's like any increase doesn't matter for them. It matters for them in their life, but to go to a tournament, does it really matter? Are people not going to SCR specifically because it doesn't have 15K in the pot? No. There's no one's doing that. So I don't think that's the problem right now. I think production needs to be taken care of more because at certain tournaments, there's just like, I just fucking here and like just give you an Ethernet cord and like okay, like you have to figure it out.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's a lot harder than people realize. And I was listening to Ultra Chen talk about how their woes as commentators, and I don't want to hear that shit. You don't know how hard production has it. All right, I ain't giving you a mute button.
There's no way I'm giving anybody a mute
No
button.
mute buttons. We're listening to you. You know what my biggest pet peeve is? When commentators take off their mics and they do this. You know why? Because I can't hear what they're talking about, and like the other commentators like confused too.
Yeah, leave your mic on. I want to hear the trash.
They shouldn't be
talking or,
talking like to other people. Like be professional. Yeah, I said it.
Well, yeah, at majors. I'm talking about.
Oh yeah, locals is
Yeah,
whatever.
locals.
It's
I want to hear everything.
yeah. That's my biggest pet peeve.
There needs to be. That's just money.
Yeah.
We need more money. Then we could put a wall in front of
Oh my God! Don't
Chen and.
don't tell me about my
block 'em
need of
out.
walls. I need a lot of walls.
Oh man, we already
we
said
talked-
that story.
We did talk about it. My not having a wall. I need walls, guys. Walls of Jericho.
All right, next question.
Drew Mage asks again. Being stream bets, what things make you happy, make you wince when watching a stream? What makes me happy is blow-ups. I love blow-ups. I can't live without them. Blow-ups are my life at this point. Burning is life and blow-ups are life. So,
Burning it down.
no, he's a Dota player.
It needs a blow up so I can burn it down.
I just love blow-ups because that just gets me excited.
I
don't know. I'm
yeah,
simple. I'm simple.
I mean, you love seeing top players lose, right?
Yeah.
That's kind of why everybody watches the stream, because if everybody knew the outcome, nobody would want to bother watching the stream.
Yeah. I like the random stuff that happens, you know, like a Phoenix Wright beating Yipes. That's crazy to me. That's like, oh man,
Yeah.
I gotta watch that match, you know. But like Yipes beating Phoenix Wright, it's like, well, fucking whatever.
Unfortunately, like, random people don't just beat random people in Street Fighter much anymore.
Much
It's kind
anymore.
of just like
It
top
happens.
player. It happens.
It
but
happens. It's more of a weekly
it's
thing, I
top
think.
Players just beating each other. But on the contrary to that, there's so many good players for Street Fighter.
There's blow-ups. I mean, look at that Asian tournament. Choco Blanca placing higher than every
Oh,
Asian
yeah.
member. That was crazy. I was like freaking out. Like I was like, yeah, like I didn't know what to do. Like,
Daigo losing, and then the guy beating Daigo lost to
Chung.
Chocoblanca.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's great. I think that was a great tournament.
Which is like another reason why I think
you never know what's gonna happen.
all tournaments should be single elimination.
All team, one match, one round,
No,
one round,
not one round.
no life. Who has the best reactions? Dive kick. Ugh. What makes you wince? Bad commentary. I hate it. I mute immediately. Most commentary I mute. To be
Let's
honest,
see, bad
Nowadays.
commentary.
I like
Man,
Ringe.
bad commentary is just so bad.
Ultra Chen. Yipes sometimes. Yipes gets too much for me sometimes. Sometimes I just need silence. I don't need the ooze. I've had enough ooze.
When there's no music.
That's just injustice problem.
No, remember at that tournament?
Oh, the WCG.
Yeah, there
tournament.
was. It was like two esports guys commentating it, and it was Street Fighter with no music on the training mode.
Yeah.
And it was just like, wow, thanks for making my favorite game of all time look like a big pile of crap. Thanks, guys. I really appreciate it.
Yeah, that's just. I always laugh when people are like, "Stop picking training stage in Street Fighter at tournaments and stuff like that." I love that. How many times has Harrison punched you in the dick? Canadian Pyro asks. 3 times. Long silence after
I
that.
guess I'm not gonna dispute that.
At DKFGC asks, in more combo-heavy games like Injustice and Marvel, how many combos do you actually need to get a feel for your character's basics? Well, I think there's 3 situations in which you need combos for them, and I've tried to translate this in my combo archives, youtube.com/thewaitressflesh. Basically, there's your super easy BNB that you have. Actually, there's more than 6. I'm going to break it down. There's your super easy. The 3 situations are your basic combos, throw combos, and X Factor. Usually, X Factor can be replaced with super and Injustice. So, your normal combos, you have your super easy basic mid screen, your super easy basic corner, super advanced optimal mid screen, your super optimal corner. And then you have your throw combos. You only need 2. Doesn't matter. Like, you don't need to optimize throw combos as much as you need to.
Yeah.
And then you have your X Factors. With Marvel, it's a little complicated because there's 3 X Factors. So you need your X Factor 1 combo with mid-screen and corner, your X Factor 2 combo mid-screen and corner, and X Factor 3 combo mid-screen corner. Thankfully, a lot of those are the same for a lot of characters. And at a certain point, you're just killing a dead corpse. So you don't have to actually do a full combo with X Factor level 3, obviously. So you need to know these situations. And I think it's
Also,
it's like 15
I think you're forgetting
combos.
something. Meter-based combos too.
Yeah, in Marvel it's always in meter-based combos, but in Injustice it's a lot different.
Well, in Street Fighter too. Like,
Yeah, in Injustice and Street Fighter you have your regular
in Marvel,
no bar.
there's
your
almost no
1 bar.
reason to just burn your meter because
Yeah.
it just does so much damage. In Street Fighter,
You're right.
there's no reason for you to do like.
One EX bar to do like 50 more damage or something.
Well,
Sometimes,
that's the
I
thing.
guess.
That's you need to know when to do
Yeah.
that. Because sometimes they have 50 more life, just 50 more life, and you want to kill them, and at the cost of 2 meters, but they're dead. When any normal time, that's just a waste of meter. But that's more situational stuff that you're gonna learn when you
Yeah,
play the game.
situational combos are useful and you should learn them, but I think the basic things that you just need are just those. And like you can translate that into Injustice and Street Fighter in that you have your no bar combo, your 1 bar combo, your 2 bar combo, your 3 bar combo, 4 bar combo, super combo, stuff like that.
Yep.
So you just have to break it down and chunk it basically into what you need to learn. I think the way I organize it in my Marvel videos is the best you can get for basics, like just what you need to know. And obviously there's a lot more other stuff for you to explore because it's an open game. Same with Street Fighter. There's a lot of stuff to explore with EX in the corner and EX mid-screen, stuff like that with setups. But it's just your basics. You just need to know those.
Yep. Do you have any more questions?
And we have a lot more. How the fuck did you meet Harrison? It's Mr. Mick. He said that. How did I meet
I
Harrison?
guess that's kind of a relevant question. It's the 50th show.
Yeah,
How the fuck did we meet?
it was a Starbase.
I think so, yeah. But when
Yeah.
did we like actually physically talk and like actually became friends
I
as
think-
opposed to some random people in an arcade?
I think it was. Do you remember that guy's house? Was it Josh? He was in Santa Rosa, that house session. Do you know what I'm talking about? I'm forgetting the name all of
I
a
think
sudden.
it was my house.
No,
It wasn't?
no. That was Ultimate Marvel vs. Capcom 3 launch,
Yeah.
which we did go to. But that was we went to that house session, right? Or did I? I don't know.
Somebody said.
It's kind of weird.
I gotta say, somebody said,
It's
"Oh my god, we both have hats. Both have hats." Let's check out.
It's kind of a weird progression because, like, at a certain point, my friend stopped going to Starbase, so I was just like sitting at home. I was like, "Can anyone give me a ride?" And like Harrison was like in Santa Rosa. He's like, "Oh, yeah, I'll give you a ride. Give me $300." And
Still waiting for that $300.
$300. And we just drove there.
I think that was kind of
I
it.
think that was the progression.
And then I kind of harassed you into doing the show.
Yeah. And I started becoming a known player. And I was a streamer at the time, so I knew how to help out with commentary and stuff like that. So I just think it naturally developed.
And you're smart, which is kind of like a requirement.
to be your friend.
Yeah, if you're stupid, like
Like,
what's
you
the
know,
fun of
yeah.
hanging out with you?
That's true, I guess. I'm not a mongoloid. Was that just a slur I used? Whatever. But yeah, I think it's just a weird natural evolution.
Yeah,
Then
that's kind of it.
then we started holding hands,
Next question.
naping our
That's-
necks. Capricorn asks, "What's your button layout for your stick for Marvel?" There's like 2 that you can use.
It's a basic one.
Yeah, there's 3.
Well, yours is weird because you have a broken button, so you.
Well, I mean, it's the same
I
thing.
know. I'm kidding.
So let's just imagine this is a stick. I'm not gonna bring yours out. So we have L, M, H. Okay, let's bring yours out. Okay. So we have our stick. Okay, so here's the stick. Ooh, nice. So we have L, M, H, S for your A button. Assist 1, assist 2. If you really like American style instead of Japanese, because if you notice, these are American and these are Japanese, these 3, you can just switch it. So it's LMH launch, assist 1, assist 2. There's another one which is Marvel 2 where it's LMH, it's LM, no, yeah, LMHS, assist 2, assist 1. That's Marvel 2, and some people do play like that. I think it's insane to play like that. I really think the first one, the anime style, is better. But, I mean,
Is that it for questions?
no, we have one more. It's a 50 show. We can go. Okay, Drew, we have a request. Harrison, do you know what a waifu is?
Yes.
What is it?
Shit, I knew this one.
Dude, you're lying to me.
It's
Lying to
isn't
me.
it like some kind of like fake wife or something like that that you'd have?
It's like a wife that's like cartoon wife.
Like a fake wife.
It's a cartoon. They're not fake. They're real people.
They're fake.
Have you ever seen a body pillow?
Yes.
Okay, what is a body pillow?
With like people on it, right, or
Yeah.
something like that.
Okay, have you ever seen one you could fuck?
No, I have not.
Do you want one?
No.
Are you sure?
Yes.
I can
I'm
arrange
100%
it.
Sure.
I know people.
Completely okay
Alright.
with not having one.
That was a request. I'm sorry, Harrison. Spider Carnage! Congratulations on the 50th episode, guys. Do you have a favorite moment of your favorite show in the last 50?
Favorite show. Number 1. Not even close.
I
I
like
like number 4 with Hell Pockets, kind of.
yeah. I like all of our guest ones.
Yeah.
I think if we have a guest, we're much better because we're terrible at everything. So having the guest carry us is much better. But I feel like
If you're new to the show, I would suggest checking out the guest shows.
yeah,
For sure.
I think those are really good. I mean,
K-Beast is always good.
yeah, KB's when he hosted that one time.
Yeah. No,
When
he's
I-
hosted like 2 or 3 times.
Oh
now.
yeah,
Or he's been on the show 2 or 3 times. Yeah, he hosted that one time when
he
forgot it
hosted when I
Tuesday.
was not. I was incapacitated. I think
Playing BioShock Infinite.
I was playing Bioshock. I don't think I knew that at the time. I think I told you afterwards. The reason I wasn't there at that show, just for everyone to know, I was playing Bioshock Infinite, and I didn't realize it was 10 o'clock, and I was like, oh my god. So like I try like alt tab, and I have like 50 Skypes, and I look at my phone, it's like 30 messages, like I'm like. A boy named Rio asks, why is Chris G such a big fucking baby about sharing information, or just in general? I don't know. He's just a kid.
Is he?
Kid mindset. He doesn't share information.
Nobody does, though.
Just people share information all the time.
Okay, I guess nobody's harsh, but
No one's that like, hey, fuck you about it.
yeah.
I just think he's got a kid mindset, which is fine.
Yeah.
It's not for me to judge. It's just that it's a little immature for my taste. Coming from me, that's something. Since I talk about dicks all day.
It's just kind of weird when somebody's like, give me more money, and they won't try and help people get better, to get more people in the scene to get more money.
Hey, those finger cramp videos were great, I said to myself alone. At Eldercott asks, why do you promote sticks over pads when hitboxes are superior to both?
Damn, blown up.
We didn't mention hitboxes. I love the hitbox guys too. Hitboxes are essentially this stick, but
Hitbox were banned like a year ago.
they were. This stick is actually just 4 buttons, and you have a jump button.
Which I think is hella good.
It's so
that's
good.
good.
It's such. If you can use a hitbox, you have a lot of advantages over pad and stick players. But then again, pad players have their own distinct advantages over stick players, and stick players are just normal human beings who everyone loves. So, I mean, there's a lot of trade-offs.
You can either be respected or a weirdo. I mean, it's up to you.
Hitboxes are very good. If you could use a hitbox, I would recommend it because that's just it's really good to play on if you can utilize it. But sticks are just the standard, and that's why I recommend. It's just natural to me, so that's what I recommend.
Cool.
People are linking me my waifu. My wife, I'm sorry. That's my wife.
That's not a question.
I know. At Canadian Pyro asks, if you couldn't play Marvel, Honzo, or Street Fighter, Harrison, which fighting game would you play?
Would we play each other's games?
I wouldn't play Street Fighter, probably.
I would.
I'm so mad at
I think
Street
I'd
Fighter
play.
right now. I think you'd be Smash.
I think
Is
I would
that it?
just pick a random game.
I said it.
Man, there's this one game. Crap, I can't remember. Somebody brought it to Starbase, and it was on Sega Dreamcast. And it was a 3D game, but it was a free roaming 3D fighter game.
Oh, you mean Power Stone?
I think so, yeah.
Power Stone's ridiculous.
Yeah.
I love Power Stone. That was the game back in the day.
I'd play some random shit like that.
Power Stone. I wish we need to do Power Stone streams if we can find that game. I have a Dreamcast. We can do it. I
What
probably
else?
have the game. I'm not even sure. But yeah, that's a fun old time. Power Stone.
Yeah, I mean,
Just
I think
good.
I would pick something where I wouldn't want to play competitively just because.
Oh.
It,
I feel like you'd be a Smasher.
I did play Smash,
Yeah, I
Yeah.
feel like you just continue with that.
I guess.
Yeah.
There is people in Sonoma that.
There's a lot of people in NorCal that play Smash.
It's,
Fucking all my friends play Smash. They used to competitively. Now they're cosplayers. The Circle of Life. I would play. That's a.
I'm gonna quit playing with that.
I can't. It's really hard for me to stop playing with my stick. Okay. I would play. I would like be. I wish I was cool and be like, yeah, Guilty Gear. I play Guilty Gear because I'm a hardcore player. But I don't know. I would probably be playing Street Fighter 2 HD Remix if I wasn't playing Marvel.
Nobody plays that game anymore.
I
Huh?
know.
It's kind of weird. Everybody was so into that game, and then it died. Like somebody just took a stake to the heart to it.
Actually, I guess I'd still be shitty at Street Fighter 4. But like non-Capcom games that are like mainstream, I probably, if I wasn't into Street Fighter 4, it'd be that. I'd just be like playing Blanca.
Alright.
I probably wouldn't be in the scene anymore if I didn't play Marvel. Pretty sure I'd get over it. 'Cause Street Fighter
Ultra's gonna revive the scene.
Probably, but like I'm so mad at Street Fighter as it is right now. Like, cause I played it online and I was like, why am I terrible? Why am I terrible at life? And then like it gets to that downward spiral and like,
Everybody's really good online now.
yeah, that's true.
I think that's the end.
Well, we have an Obama picture. I don't know if you want to put that on the.
We can get to it later.
Okay.
Is that the end of the show?
I guess we should.
We should wrap up that whole FGC scene thing first to
Yes.
make sure.
We should do that.
So obviously we're not gonna go through
Every scene, because
every scene. That is ridiculous.
there's too many.
Maybe with this information we can have an FGC scene of the week or something like that. Maybe.
It's a good
Who
idea.
knows? We got all the information now. But it's going to be
Like
on
that?
IPLAYWINNER.
Yes.
It's going to be on the front page. It's going to be up tomorrow.
I'm
It'll have a download link.
just gonna ask you this because I don't
Yeah.
even know. Is there gonna be like a static page at one point?
That is my goal.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's all.
It's just right now I'm kind of just collecting all the informations, and I don't know how I'm going to put it into iPlayWinner yet.
Okay.
So I'm kind of just, it's going to be a PDF, so you'll be able to download it and look on your phone or
Okay.
whatever. So it'll be easy to access. I think that's it.
Yep. Hope you guys enjoyed me spending $20 on gas to come here to touch Harrison's beard. Hope you guys enjoyed that. See the height difference between us, by the way?
Well, until next week. Maybe we'll be in the same room.
Maybe.
Probably not.
No. Kickstart my life, please.
If somebody wants to give us money so we can make this an every week situation, Maybe I
We
can
need a
set that up.
Kickstarter. $500,000 minimum. $10,000 per minute talking to me on Skype is one of the goals. And I'll show my dick at 500,000. We get
I
it.
like how you said minimum $500,000, but for the minimum, I'm
I'll
gonna show my dick.
Yeah. Well, I'm kind of a slut here. I'm a slut for money.
Let's just say I'm not gonna show anything. I'm not gonna be involved. I'm just gonna be very thankful. Very
Ooh.
thankful that somebody's
What's
gonna give me
underneath?
$500,000.
What's underneath? Dude, if people give me like $100, it's just like blow them probably.
All right. Well, before this winds out of control, finally, I can end this freaking show.
Go for it. It's on my show.
Until next week, you can follow me at Harrison SBA. You can follow Honzo Gonzo at Honzo Gonzo. Make sure, if you don't want to follow either of us on Twitter, more importantly, check us out. Jesus Christ. On twitter.com/IPLAYWINNER. More importantly, you check out all the iPlayWinner news. Go to the iPlayWinner.com. Go to the podcast section where you can check out all the previous shows on YouTube in MP3 format. I think that's it. I'm trying to think if there's anything else. I always forget something. Oh, one last thing. There is a Wyoming Dojo tournament next Monday.
Oh, I should probably go to that.
It is the 7th one in the tournament. In the series. It's in probably the best venue you'll ever see ever. So if it is in Petaluma, it's in NorCal. So if you're around the area, it's $1 to enter, and then it's $4 per game. We usually do Street Fighter and Marvel. Sometimes we add Injustice or a random game in there. But Street Fighter and Marvel usually do basic games.
Tweets Jeff Gerstmann to come. I want him to come. That's weird. That's out of context. But like, I want him to come to Wyoming Dojo.
But that'll be streamed right here on the same channel you are watching right now.
Yeah.
And if you haven't, make sure you hit the follow button right below. If you're watching this on YouTube, hit the subscribe button. If you're
Listening to this in your car, watch out.
watch out for that tree.
Watch out for that tree. What if someone died to that and like we're responsible? Wouldn't that be weird?
See you guys
We're
later.
in the paper.